So welcome back. So today I am going to try and talk about defending Season 7 of The 100. I have Octavia is here with me. Octavia come Tree Crew or Sky Crew. I don't know. Depends what you want to say she is. But I want to talk about Season 7 because after watching all of The 100, I believe that Season 7 is hated way more than what it should be. By all means, there are two main opinions of The 100 that I think all 100 fans will tell you. Opinion number one is that Season 2 is the best. I agree with that. And opinion number two is that Season 7 is the worst. I also agree with that. But I kind of want to defend Season 7 because, especially looking at like Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, I mean, Season 7 of The 100 has so much still going for it. So I have three main points. One of them is Bellamy. I'll talk about that when I get onto it. But the first point I want to talk about is character development, because the character development in Season 7 is still just as good as it was throughout the whole show. Like, there are three characters that I'm going to talk about individually. The first one is Octavia. Octavia, from end of Season 5 to Season 6, is looking for redemption. And Octavia, Season 6 and 7, is Octavia's season for redemption, but mainly Season 7. At the very end of Season 7, Octavia probably is single-handedly, with Raven, the reason that everyone can transcend. It sounds ridiculous. I can't. But seriously, she is a reason that everyone can survive. Because Octavia is able to get both sides of the transcending people and one crew and everyone and put them all together and actually say, let's not fight. And the aliens can see this and they can transcend. And it's because of Octavia's willingness to change and like not fight is the reason that everyone can be saved. And compared to like Season 5 or even Season 4, Blood Rainer and everything like that, Octavia's clearly like improved so much. Because if Octavia didn't do that, then obviously no one would be able to transcend. And that's the whole point. Like, Octavia shows the biggest piece of redemption in that moment. And that's just that moment. In Season 7, she also shows character development. Because with Hope, she takes a very motherly role to Hope. And is quite, like, mother aunt role. And eventually when Dioza does die, that does become another one of Octavia's priorities, to look after Hope even more. And so I really do not think that Octavia's character development was anything bad. And by far, Season 7 was probably that point where she fully is actually back to being someone good. She started off a little bit of a brat, then got kind of good, then got way too far into being like dangerous and a warrior, and now at the other end is a warrior, but not stupid. She's not going to be like Blood Rainer, or I forgot what they called her in Season 4, but we all remember Season 4 Octavia. She was freaking hot. But yeah, so that's Octavia. Dioza. Dioza is the second character. I think that her character development is by far probably one of the biggest as well. Season 6 and 7, just like Octavia, were quite big for Dioza. Even parts of Season 5, Dioza was like growing on me. And within 6 and 7 combined, she really just became a great character that completely developed from what she was even before what we saw of her on the show. A terrorist now actually wanting to make peace and actually wanting to just live a life with the daughter and trying to make a new start in her life. And her ultimate sacrifice in Season 7, her ultimate death, was to protect her daughter's soul so she wouldn't end up like her mother, like herself. And that is just such a big circle and is a huge change and improvement. And like, this is all within Season 7, like, this isn't any stupid kind of thing that just kills off the character or just doesn't really dive into them any further. This is like a full-blown circle. The third character is Murphy. So Murphy's character development is weird. So Season 1, he's a terrible person and he's got a terrible attitude. By Season 7, he's got a pretty bitchy attitude. But he is actually a good and selfless person. And Season 7 is really the only season where John actually becomes like the best he can be. He still has his attitude. That's never going to change because that's who John is. But his morals and the way that he views life has changed completely. He now is selfless and will do things for everyone else. He was selfish, and even as far as Season 6, he was selfish when he tried to like give Clark up or whatever for his own, to be a prime himself with Amari. But within Season 7, he actually wanted to go and do the right thing. And that if season 7 didn't exist or didn't touch upon John Murphy's character development, then we wouldn't have seen that. So, like, they're three characters that season 7 ended their arcs nicely from season 1, or season 5 in Dio's case, to season 7. They all went on the stories, they all built up their development and went back and forth in multiple ways. But season 7 did their developments nicely, and that's my whole point. If season 7 didn't exist or didn't have any credibility or was so terrible, then I wouldn't have all these positive things to say about how characters change and how you should actually watch season 7 if you rewatch it all, because then you can actually really figure out the end of each character. Then I want to talk about Bellamy now, because Bellamy's summer. So Bellamy was done terribly in season 7, and that's 100% true. I'm not going to defend that or say that I'm not going to try downplay Bellamy. It was terrible. But I do want to like have a different point of view. Bellamy is a lot of people's hatred for season 7. There are other bits, like definitely not just Bellamy, but Bellamy's a huge focal point. And I would just say, like, if you just slightly just look past Bellamy, or maybe just put him to the side, I genuinely believe that season 7 is heavily affected because of Bellamy. Like, I feel like too people think about it too much, and I don't want to downplay it, but I do just want to, I do kind of want to downplay it a little bit, because if Bellamy was still alive, I think a lot of people would like season 7 a lot more, and I just feel like it's unfortunate that Bellamy died. He was done terribly. I think it was because Bob Marley was busy with other stuff. I'm not 100% too sure, but they could have easily done Bellamy differently. I completely get that. I understand. But I think that for that, you should just kind of look past it a little bit and just try and be like, the characters that we do have, Octavia, Dioza, Murphy, how are they? And actually look at them, because they are positive. They are very good characters. Third thing I want to say is uniqueness. Season 7 is unique. So season 1 through to 4 all have similar conflicts. Yes, they're all different. Season 1 focuses on conflict with the Grounders. Season 2 focuses Mount Weather. Season 3, City of Light. And Season 4, Prime Fire, right? But in all of that, there is some conflict between the Grounders, Tree Crew, Ice Nation, the clans, and the Ark. There's all that conflict constantly. Even if there are ultimate main other issues, that's it. But Season 5, where you have these new space people. Season 6, you have primes and kind of like the enemy within. And season 7, you have this transcending these weird people in that literally pass through planets. And so in that respect, season 7 is actually unique and does differently to what seasons 1 to 4 did. Even season 5, like, even though there are space people and we have one crew via the space people, it still is a similar kind of conflict, whereas season even 6 and 7, they do take things a little bit differently. And that change of pace, or not change of pace, but like change of like enemies and villains and view on that, is actually quite nice and refreshing, and it is like a little bit something different to see. So I do give season 7 respect in terms of like, I would also say watch it, because it's not just the same old thing. Season 7 is not just like everything else, and it's unique, and that is also a bit of a downfall because some people don't like it because of that. But I just take it as it's different, it's interesting, it's new and engaging, so you should absolutely just like watch it. Another thing, I wasn't going to mention this, but I think I will talk about it. The ending kind of goes back to Bellamy. A lot of people would have preferred if Bellamy was in the ending, or if people that died could also transcend, so like everyone transcended. I personally don't believe the ending was terrible. Sure, I was wishing for a bit more. It could have been done so much differently. Like, I just wish it was a little bit different. Maybe more than a little bit, but I wish it was different. But the ending that we did get, like, I'm not mad about it. I thought that it was interesting. I thought that everyone was able to transcend, the human race wasn't wiped out. It was a great thing for Octavia and Raven, because they're the ones that saved the day. It was great to see Lexa and Abby. Abby's death took me off guard. Don't know why people aren't talking about that. I personally would have preferred if Abby was alive than Bellamy, but maybe I just don't give a shit about Bellamy, so maybe that's just the way it is. But I really do believe that Bellamy, yes, he shouldn't have died the way he did, but I think Abby was more important. But honestly, I think the ending was enough to keep me satisfied. I know everyone else, probably not. Like, I get that. Like, that's why season 7 is hated. But I think if you take like, everything into consideration, like, Still good character development and growth. An ending that could have been worse. Uniqueness and differences, and being overclouded by Bellamy. Again, I know how important he is, but just that as a point. If you take all of that into consideration, season 7 really isn't that bad. Like, people make it to seem so bad. I really don't get it. Like, watch season 7 of Fear the Walking Dead and tell me that season 7 of The 100 is the worst thing, because it's freaking not. Like, oh my days. Like, The 100 is quite a clean show, in my opinion. And I get The 100 has lots of different opinions. Like, some people will tell you season 1 is not good and it's cringy. Some people will tell you that it's great. Most people, like, practically everyone will love season 2. Season 3 and 4 are a bit, most people will like them, but some people don't. Season 6, you either love it or kind of don't like it. Season 5 is a bit of a weird one. Some people think that's the last good season. Personally, I love it all. Season 6 is a little bit boring. It's fine, I don't hate it. And season 7, like I say, is still the worst. And season 1's a bit cringy. But besides that, I mean, I don't have a problem with this show. And I think that it is a pretty clean show. And I think that even just take that season 7 is not as bad as what you might think it is. But that is basically all I have to say. I know, I could barely even say anything. I don't even know. It is just so much 100 stuff in my brain. Can't even speak. But thanks for watching if you've made it this far, because I know I'm very unbearable. Thanks for that. I'm kidding. Right. I'll shut up now. See y'all in a little bit.